Hey everybody, it's Tyler with Gaia Force Gaming, and I'm actually here today with my buddy ZACK PRECHTEL. ZACK is a local at our local game store, Cool Comics and Games in Cape Coral, Florida. And why we bring you on here today, ZACK?
Because we went to PPG Miami's 1.5 $3 tournament this last weekend, and I took second in the general standings, and then for a top cut, I ended up taking first.
That's right. So we went to PPG. They had an in-store event for 1.5. They actually did a top cut. After Swiss, ZACK was second place with a 5-1 record, and after top cut, he was first. Just cleared through top cut. So we're here to talk about his deck. What he liked about it, what he didn't, what he would or wouldn't change, and how his tournament experience went. The tournament had, 45 players? 44?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere between like 45 and 50, something like that.
And it was 6 rounds. It was a lot of I had a lot of fun. But we're not here to talk about me. ZACK, if you want, what got you into the Digimon card game? What's your background in card games? And, yeah, take it away.
Well, as far as Digimon goes, I think you may have been the one who mentioned it to me, or maybe I saw something online first. I don't remember. And I've seen like one episode of Digimon in my whole life from when I was a kid. I've not watched Digimon, which sounds weird, being like, oh, you're playing Digimon, you haven't watched it. But so yeah, I know like half of these Digimon I don't even know, over half. But still am a big Pokemon player. Used to do a lot of Pokemon. Used to travel a lot for regionals and cups and stuff like that. Back when we didn't have Corona.
In the before times.
Yeah, the before times. 2019, all those years ago. So yeah, I've done like regionals and stuff, and I've messed around with like Magic a little bit. Even going back to like when I was younger, like me and my friends would play. Like there was a Star Wars trading card game. We did that. There was like a Mega Man trading card game. We did that. So I've kind of had cards like around me my whole life, and then family always played like euchre, rummy, that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So let's talk about your deck. Well, what did you play this weekend?
So I played everybody's favorite deck. I played Rookie Rush, blue-green Rookie Rush.
Awesome.
Which, everybody loves that deck, especially when they have to face it. Yeah, not really. but it works.
I think people give it a bad rap. Like, people think it's annoying or like a no-brain deck, but I think it's more nuanced than that. I'm sure it's more nuanced than that. It's not just turn card sideways and win. I mean, sometimes it is, but
sometimes it's true. Sometimes it is, but usually, yeah, you have to do a lot more thinking. Although with some of the 1.5 cards, it really makes it. I want to say scary, but I'm playing it, so it's not scary for me. It's more scary for the opponent.
So let's just talk about it. What did you run? Start with, I guess you have it set from eggs to options.
Yeah, I do.
All right, perfect. Let's start with the eggs.
So we got the classic 4 Upamons. I think that's in train. Yeah. So the 4 Upamons, and then last minute we're standing there, and I asked you, I'm like, do we put a 5th egg in? And you're like, yeah, we're gonna put a 5th one. So we put the Digimon in, which I think I only triggered the draw one time the entire tournament.
Was it worth it?
I think it's a nice option to have a 5th one in there, because there's a little more blow up right now, with like green, and then we have yellow coming in now, with a lot of options to just like delete things. So having the egg to hatch from, and kind of have something in the raising area, it definitely, I think overall it's a good card to have in there. This might get changed for a different one at some point, if I could find something that would fit better.
Yeah, I think blue just suffers from like those two being the only good eggs in a deck that doesn't specifically cover anything else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even something like, I don't know, I'm not as familiar with all the blue eggs because I've been playing Rookie Rush since November. But I think if I could find a blue egg that was like plus 2,000 DP on your turn, I would run that because.
Well, would you run the Wanyanmon? The plus, I think it's plus 2,000 if they have two things without sources.
I don't like that because usually they have multiple sources down.
Yeah.
Now with where blue can go in the future with like source deletion, I think it's a great card. But I don't think it for rookie rush at least. I don't think it's worth it.
Alrighty. So take us to your level 3s.
Yeah. So we have 4 Mushroomon, and then the 4 newest green cards I swapped in. These were Goblinmons. I swapped them in because 5,000 DP is too good not to pass up, especially when you have Volcandramon out there killing things.
Yep.
Then for the blue rookies, we got the Vmon with the Jammy. This won me a ton of games.
Yeah, that card's outrageous.
Yeah, it should probably end up on the restricted list, and I'm saying that as somebody who's playing it, because with the XVmon, it's just like straight broken because you just swing with jamming, untap it, especially if you have another blue on the field, like you can get double jamming off on it. So that's solid and won me a lot of games. Because they also have to like answer it then, like if it's like, okay, well it didn't die, so if you don't kill it, I'm going to swing with jamming again. Yeah. So it kind of takes one less swing off of your security, which helps with rookie rush, because that's one thing. If they like counter rush you, if you're playing against red, which it takes like 3 or 4 security in a turn, that helps slow it down a little bit, because it's like if you don't kill it, then I'm getting another one this turn.
Yeah.
Goemon. 4 of, nice little guy. He works. We got Gabumon Altart with the draw 1. The draw 1 is super handy. I love being able to just drop it and draw 1. And also with the 3, you notice like a lot of like 2-3 mixed. I feel like being able to control the memory is really important. And having those extra 3s in there help you kind of get off those round numbers. When, like your opponent goes first, usually you're going to end up at 2. So if you have a 2 drop down, okay, you're going to play 2, and then you're going to put them back at 2. But if you have a 3 cost, yeah, you're only putting 1 down, but you're putting them at 1, which is super strong, especially against a lot of decks that just try to rush the build. Just choking them that way is great. Elecmon, solid card. Armadillomon, I love Armadillomon. Again, it's that control with the 1 cost to Digivolve. If you're going first, and this is in your hand, you just pop it down. Like, yeah, you're not putting out a second rookie, but you're putting them at 1, and just keeping them locked at 1 on the first turn is super important.
Did you
I
consider?
might switch this.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I think you're going to answer my question.
Yeah, the Penguin. Yeah. So I think this may get switched for the Penguin for the higher DP, but the cost to play it, hard play it, I think it's 3 on that one if I remember right.
Yes, but there's also the Betamon, which trying to remember what the stats are on Betamon. I should have come prepared.
I could dig it out, but we can.
But yeah, or even doing splits between the Penguin and Betamon.
Exactly. Yeah. The thing is like my main concern with swapping these out for a 3 cost. Like, yes, it's going to help with the Volcandramon matchup, but if it throws off like that balance of being able to keep the control lock at 1, it's not worth it, in my opinion.
I agree. So Betamon is a 3 cost 5k, which is 1 to evolve, and then the Penguinmon is the same exact stats. They're identical. 3 cost 1k, 5k, 1 to evolve. So like, even would you consider like a 2-2 split of Armadillo and one of those?
Yeah, maybe. Like, it's gonna have to be played around with, obviously, to figure it out for sure.
Yeah, just to give everyone who's watching after the fact a frame of reference, this was the day after 1.5 dropped. We went to this event, so we didn't have a ton of time to look through cards.
Tyler went and picked up cards for us because our LCS did not get their shipment in. You drove like 2 hours, I think?
Well, not me personally, but yeah, Joe, our buddy,
Yeah.
drove to Marco and picked us all up a small order of singles from our friends at Marco Island, and just so that we could play in this event because we didn't get our shipment in time.
Yeah. So we played like 4 or 5 games that Friday night, and then got up Saturday morning and went. So it didn't get a ton of testing. When I tested against Red and what was he playing?
Red, Green, and Shine Greymon. I think you got a little bit on with.
I don't think I played against the Shine, so I just played it against the Red and Green. I didn't play against the Shine.
Yeah, mostly against the Red, which was me.
Yeah.
All right. What else? What's else in here?
We got level 4s now.
Okay.
Vegemon, which I love Vegemon, 6K, 1 cost, and then again this 1 cost helps with the balancing, and it also helps with the draw power. One cost is evolve, you get to draw a card. It's not too bad. And with the 4 cost on the play count, like for the hard play, it helps whenever you get thrown to 3. If you're just I want to drop something, put them at 1. My hand's crap, or you want to hold a rookie so you can, Digivolve the next turn off your egg. It's a solid card option in there. Then we have 2 of the Vidramon, which I think is new in this set, if I remember correctly.
It is.
The jamming.
Yes.
Obviously, you have to have a tamer, and there is a tamer in here, so that takes care of that jamming option. I would say the majority of the time I did get to swing with the jamming. I almost always had a tamer down. So
I was going to ask, did you wish it was Frigimon instead, or did you usually have the tamer?
I usually had the tamer. I like Frigimon because I was playing Frigimon before 1.5 dropped in that slot, and I don't know. I mean, the DP being higher, I think it's going to come down to how much Volcandramon's running these days with 1.5.
Well, not only
you run it in red.
Not only that, but 5K takes 2 triggers from Shine Greymon to kill.
Yeah,
which is kind of big.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses to it, but as long as the tamer is consistent, then it doesn't really matter, because that's going to pop off anyway. The most important card, I think, I'm not going to say most important. My favorite new card in the deck, the XVmon. I love this. The unsuspend is just great. Even you swing with jamming, you drop this on top, unsuspend your jamming, because you're just digivolving. It doesn't say other. You can unsuspend that one. So being able to just swing twice on the turn is always good. So I like that. I do wish it was 5K, but considering you're untapping something for free whenever you digivolve it, it's not too bad at 4K. This, though, and this is my favorite card, and I believe the most important card in the deck. 4 Puppetmons. Puppetmon saved my ass so many times. In 1.0 and in the 1.5 tournament, it did a great job. Because when you get something with blockers, a lot of decks are running a couple blockers at least. Thankfully, I did not have to play black, because that's a rough matchup. But Puppetmon, I had one game where I just swung so that he ended up tapping all 3 blockers because he had to, or else I was taking the game. And then I just Puppetmon locked him for the next turn. So
would you say a majority of your games you follow up Puppetmon with another Puppetmon?
Yes, I try not to play Puppetmon unless I have another Puppetmon in hand, because usually you got to double play it. I've had a few games in 1.0 locally where I got all 4 out, back to back to back, but that's super hard to do. As far as options, 3 Hammer Sparks, +1, always good. If it comes off your security, +2. And like I said, because I really try to focus on keeping them locked at the 1 memory, if you hit Hammer Spark and security, it puts them over, and that ends their turn. So that saves me a ton. Double Flower Cannon, because blockers happen. Also, nice security effect. new card that's been added in, Positron, which you were not a fan of Positron.
I was apprehensive. I'm not gonna lie.
You were not a fan of my Positron option, but this did great. It actually won me the final game. Having the two your opponent, two Digimon can't attack or block until the end of their turn. It gives you that option of like, hey, you're playing red and you're going to swing for 3 next turn? I don't think so. Like, go ahead, you can't attack. Save your security. Plus, because you almost always have a blue down, you're going to end up getting the bounce on a tapped Digimon. And with lots of Omnimon running around, and Omnimon Ultra S, they swing with that, they hit the Positron and security, it gets bounced to hand, they lose that whole stack. It definitely can save the day there. And then Davis is the last 3 cards. This is broken for blue. If you're playing blue and you're not playing this, I don't know what you're doing. So being able to just draw 2, or search for 3 but get up to 2 Digimon is great. I usually end up getting a Puppetmon off of it, but it helps definitely with the dead draw potential that can come with Rookie Rush. I know in 1.0 a lot of people were running what is it? It's like a 7 cost draw 2.
The Zudomon.
For blue. Zudomon, yeah. So I know some people are running Zudomon, and I think 7 cost is too much just to draw 2 cards. So this is 4 cost to draw up to 2. You get 1 blue, 1 green.
You're almost always getting
memory.
1.
So the 3 memory off there, that lets you drop down 2 rookies at 2 costs, so it kind of gives you that flexibility to keep the board filled up. Or like I said, because you're at 3, then you can go straight to the Vegemon if you want, or go like, there's a lot of games where I had that down, I could drop the XVmon to get the double swing, and not have to worry about like, I'm going to go over the memory. So, but that's it. That's what won me the game. Mostly Davis and XVmon.
Awesome. So that's the deck. I like it. I think it looks solid. What would you potentially change moving forward?
Well, like we said, we maybe swapping to Armadillo, or doing a split or something to get that higher DP. That's definitely an option, but I don't know. As far as, because you are right at 5K, that definitely helps with the yellow matchup, because it does take 2 tamers to pop one then. But personally, when I'm playing against yellow, I don't swing until I can take all the prizes.
Yeah, and I watched you do that in the finals 2 games in a row, just back to back. Just, here are my 6. Answer it.
Yeah, because I mean the thing is if once you get them to that 3 point, like, you're in trouble because they're just going to gain 2 right back almost every time. So having that option, plus with the ability to double swing with the XVmon, so you have 6 down. As long as your jamming survives, which it almost will, unless you hit like a Gaia Force or something, I guess would kill it out of security. But otherwise, it's going to survive. So that almost gives you an extra swing they don't know about. Otherwise, I don't know if I'd change anything else. I really like it as is. Well, maybe, like I said, maybe if I can find a different egg option here. But having the 5th, and plus with jamming being included already on a couple different Digimon, it gets off plenty enough. And I didn't feel like I missed Davis. There's a couple games I didn't hit the Davis, and that was kind of hurt, but like, it's best of 3 generally, so it didn't end up being end of the world.
Would you consider going up to 4 Davis?
No, I don't know what I'd cut, to be honest. I don't know what I would cut to put it in. I mean, I know there's options, like you could cut 1 Hammer Spark, I guess, but
I mean, for a 4th Davis, if you're going to 4th Davis, you could even go to 3 Puppetmon, because like theoretically, the Davis is the Puppetmon.
No, 4 Puppet.
Yeah.
4 Puppetmon. You know I have a Puppetmon. It's not happening. This deck will always have 4 Puppetmon. Yeah, Puppetmon's too much of a savior, I think, in the bigger matchups once you get into a weird position. And if like I could see, I would have more games lost by having 3 Puppetmon and 4 Davis than the other way around.
Gotcha.
Because
So
it's so good.
So this is the deck you played. If you want to just real quick run us through what your matches were throughout the day and how they went, which ones you thought were harder or kind of like easier.
Yeah, I hit a lot of blue Omni. Round 1, I played. It was a blue deck, if I remember right. It was either blue or red. He was a newer player though, so there were some things he wasn't like confident about. There was game 1 or game 2. He had a blocker, and he was at 1 memory with a blocker, but he was too hyper focused on keeping the blocker so that I couldn't swing for game, that he didn't realize he could have just swung with the blocker for game because I had no security left. He still won that game, but like he got hyper focused on that kind of thing. And obviously, I'm not going to bring that up to my opponent during the match. I did say something to him after, though. And then round 2 was blue, and he had just gotten his cards. Like he opened the box, like I think he said, like half an hour before the tournament. So he was playing blue Omni, but it wasn't like the optimal build for it with the new cards, for sure. So that was a quick game. And what was round 3? I think it was red round 3. It was pretty much all blue and red until Top Cut. That's all I played was blue and red the whole way through. But it was pretty much just back to back. After round 3, I got a little nervous because that's when you're getting the point of like with 6 rounds, we're like, okay, if I win 1 more, I'm probably in top. I just have to ID after that. Because they were allowing IDs. I don't know why they were allowing IDs, but they were.
But you didn't end up IDing any of your rounds, did you?
No, I did not. Although my last opponent for the final game, round 6, if it had just been a straight like top 8 payout, he had told me he would ID. But because they had said they were going to do top cut, we went ahead and played it out because we figured for him, the worst case scenario is he loses and his resistance, skyrockets because he lost to the only undefeated person. And then if I lost, I should be first. I ended up second because the system did it that way, and he ended up first. But it didn't matter because Top Cut, so we ended up playing it out anyway.
So how did Top Cut go? What'd you play in Top 8?
Top 8, so the first round I played against my first green deck of the entire day, and there was a lot of green there.
Yeah.
I think we counted, it was 5 black, 4 yellow, and the rest was green and blue with a little red.
I think
was me and 2 other people playing Rookie Rush.
I think the least represented was red with 4 decks from what we saw.
Yeah.
And then the next was yellow, Shine Greymon and black both had about 5 or 6. And then there was a lot of blue Omni, and probably half of it was green.
Yeah, I think at least half was green. So I was surprised that it hit green all day. All I hit was blue Omni, pretty much. Besides, I think 1 red deck out of the 6 games. But so I played green. I screwed up majorly on the 3rd game. He had 2 blockers. I had a flower cannon. I swung. He blocked. And instead of playing the flower cannon, I swung again, which he just blocked, which means I didn't have enough Digimon left line to take the game. I'm like, okay, I have an XVmon in my hand. Let's play that. Guess what wasn't in my hand? It wasn't XVmon. It was Digimon. So I dropped a Puppetmon, which saved me the game. But that was a fun matchup because what we had thought was that green deck was the one I was going to play in round 6. Because him and a friend of his have the same name. So we thought it was going to be the green deck. I ended up playing the red deck. So I got to play the green deck anyway. But the memory choke, he told me after that basically because I was memory choking him, he couldn't Digivolve. And green has a lot of like tap your opponent or tap your own, type of stuff. And it wasn't worth tapping his own to save the Digivolve cost because I was just rushing him anyway. So he was just trying to counter rush with green, which isn't really, it wasn't built for that, obviously.
Yep.
So I took that one. Then game 2, I had your opponent.
Yeah, the one who knocked me out of top 8.
The one who knocked you out, so I got vengeance for you.
We had a close game. It was we went to round 3. And it was a very close game versus he had a purple value deck.
Yeah. So, but that ended up being like real similar, where like I just choked him with the memory and he couldn't get set up. At one point I had to give him. I played something. I think I played the Puppetmon, and I was at like 5 or 6 memory he had given me. And I played the Puppetmon to lock him, so I could win the game on the next turn. And I was just like, he's gonna drop something big, and I'm screwed. And he didn't have it in hand, so that was a quick... I think that one was 2-0, actually, on that one. And then the final game was against Yellow, which I hadn't played all day. Thankfully, our buddy George played a lot of Yellow before we knew what was coming. So I knew how to play against Yellow. Not that specific build, but in general, I knew what to do, which is basically you don't swing until you take everything. He did ask about a tie, and I said no. So we played it out, and it was a very quick 2-0. I feel a little bad because it was rough for him. I just hit like everything, and Positron Laser saved the game because he had a blocker and an attacker down, and he played. I had game for swinging, and he dropped I think it's like an 8 or 9 cost yellow option card that just like deletes something that's like, I think it's like 10,000.
The Hand of Judgment, the minus 12,000 for 9. But he only had 2 tamers out, so he ended up putting you at like 7, right?
Yep. Yeah, so he dropped it and put me at like 7. I'm like, well, 7's enough for me to play Positron to stop your blocker, so I just dropped my second Positron, so I played one earlier to keep him from swinging. And that basically gave me the game, and I think I dropped that, and then he just counted my rookies, and then he just scooped. So that was a quick 2-0. And that was it.
I didn't want to tilt him, but I really wanted to pop off because I was right there watching you in the finals, but I like had to like very quietly run to our friends and whisper like, "Let's go."
I saw that because I was facing you guys. Like you don't want to be rude. Sportsmanship, I think, is always important.
Oh yeah, I honestly think
that's kind of how I was raised. So I was not going to be like, I did not start screaming and being like, "Fuck yeah, I won!" Because I was super excited, but I was not going to do that because that would have been rude and unkind, and I was not.
Yeah, honestly, and so. I'm glad that our locals is kind of like that. We do take sportsmanship pretty seriously, so. It's cool. I don't think he was like too mad. It was just, you get to the finals and you're gonna be a little disappointed. But dude, that was a great run. Rookie Rush is, I think, a lot stronger in 1.5.
Definitely. Like I said, the VMon and the X VMon. Like even if you get rid of the Vdron, like if you just take this and swap it for Frigimon, or I was running Leomon before we had the X VMon. Like even if you just took this out and put, let's say, Frigimon in.
I think Frigimon might be the move just because of the egg.
Yeah, but still, I mean, either way, like, even if you take those out and you get rid of the egg and you get rid of the Positrons and go back to Flower Cannons, like, just the VMon, the X VMon, and the Davis, like...
Huge.
That just...
don't forget Auroramon. Yeah. Auroramon is bae.
Auroramon, it's good. I feel like you could still get away with the 4K one if you had to. If somebody's just like trying to build this and they don't have the Auroramon. Like I said, the main thing I think right now is the VMon, the X VMon, and the Davis. If you have those 3, you can just play your regular Rookie Rush and just swap those in, and not worry about any other 1.5 cards.
Yeah, and X VMon has a lot of plays. I was watching you do like crazy stuff, like not even for game. Like obviously if they think they're safe and you swing with the VMon, hit their security, then evolve and swing again for game, that's going to get it. But like having the Vmon swing into security and then dropping a 2-drop blue and then evolving it so that you get like that Garurumon on play effect, but for 4 mana instead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even that's crazy strong. And then just ready the Vmon again and swing with another jamming.
Yeah, well, and the other thing, I had one game, I think, because I had, like, you had 2 Vmons down and, like, another blue card, another blue rookie. So I swung with Vmon, X Vmon on the other rookie, untap, swing with that one again with jamming, swing with the second Vmon with jamming, played the second X Vmon on the first one that was tapped still to untap that one. I swung like 4 times in a turn.
Insane.
It's crazy. If you have the memory for it, it's crazy. And that's why the Davis helps so much, is just because it puts you at the 3, and plus being able to just draw. Like, there was so many times where I just was like, I need a card, and I'm like, let's play Davis. You know? Like, sure, I already have one now, but giving me another one to get 2 cards. 2 cards for 4, I don't feel like that's too bad. Plus, whenever it's in security, you're going to get 2 cards, generally, so.
Very cool. Well, that's I think that was the first 1.5 like event officially. Like, I mean, I don't know how official it was, but it was at PPG, so I mean that's something. And it was a pretty big prize pool. You ended up walking away with a box for winning.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 20 packs technically.
20, and then the one for entering, because they gave an entry pack to everyone too.
Yeah, so it was 21 packs basically, and then I asked, and they were nice enough to let me just buy the 3 additional packs and give me a sealed box instead of cracking one. So.
Very cool, very cool. So honestly, big shout outs to Pro Play Games for hosting the event, keeping things pretty safe. Like, things were distanced, everyone was wearing masks, people were, being courteous to one another, and as far as an in-person event, it was. I miss in-person events. Like, for me personally, because webcam events you get to meet like 6-7 people and have a good time, but in-person events I made like a dozen friends over the weekend. Like, just messing.
Oh yeah, and well, it's nice to chat with people that you play with early. Like I know the guy I beat round 1. Like, I checked up on him like on round 3, saw how he was doing. We chit-chatted for a minute. Like, it's nice to be able to do that even when you like lose or win. You can, like, still have that kind of friendly banter with your prior opponents.
Heck yeah.
And just have a good time.
Well, Zach, thanks for joining me. I know we're local, but it still means a lot that we found some time to do this.
No problem, man.
And what Digimon do you want to be the thumbnail? I have a feeling I know.
The thumbnail? It has to be Puppetmon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say X-Vmon. But
no, it's Puppetmon all day.
All right.
Puppetmon. Just make sure it's the alt art, because this is the... Here, hold on.
I'm gonna choose the worst screenshot from the anime as the thumb. Just Puppetmon being a doof.
I mean, Puppetmon 4 of every deck. That's what I'm saying. Puppetmon in every deck. Don't care what color it is, but 4 Puppetmon.
All right, and you have any shout outs or anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Shout out to Tom and Cool Comics, because he makes it so that we can do this affordably and have a place to gather that's safe and friendly and clean and has air conditioning. It's Florida. We need AC.
Yeah, for anyone who is in Southwest Florida, they don't have an online store, but if you're close enough to make it locally, Cool Comics and Games in Cape Coral. The owner is Tom Lotz. He has never upped the price of any Digimon product. He's gotten us pre-orders. Everyone at our locals has been able to get boxes between 70 and 80, depending on how many you order. And he takes care of the community. When he didn't have product, he was honestly like super disappointed about not having product on release day. And I heard him have some strong-worded conversations with his distribution.
I was not there for that, but I do know he was upset that like it didn't come. But that's normal. I mean, like, because I play Pokemon 2 there, and like when stuff doesn't come in on time, like, he'll just be like, oh no, it's not in yet. But like, you can tell he's a little bummed that it wasn't there when it was supposed to be.
Yeah, he takes it seriously. Like, he is a man of the people. He likes to keep the locals happy, and he likes. I just think it's crazy that he's selling things at the proper price. I mean, I'm not to dog on anyone who isn't. Times are rough. People need to make money. But it is a breath of fresh air that it's not just about the profit for him. It's the community, and he knows building that loyalty will build a better community.
For sure. And the only other shout out is Gaia Force Gaming, sweet YouTube channel. You should press that like button to subscribe. It's down in the wait. Oh, there. I don't know which way this video is pointing, so down there. Press that button.
Yeah, we
notification bell. All that stuff they say on YouTube.
We got a couple of local players, and then our not local players now know our local players through Discord and stuff like that. Oh, we do have a Discord. Maybe I'll put the link for our Gaia Force Gaming Discord. Maybe we'll start promoting that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll run some tournaments or something.
Yeah, we'll do something fun. But thanks for joining me on. It's getting pretty late, and I will. I'll see you Thursday, man, at Locals. Play this
Sounds
deck.
good, man. I'll see you then.
Have a good one, Zach.
You too, man.